the exercise part. My daughter, who is a health professional, said to me, you've got to do, and it's the absolute truth. The whole thing about weight is it's in and out. It's just a simple equation. What you take out in the way of exercise has got to be greater than what you put in the way of food. It's just as simple as that. And so if you take any in, you've just got to do some more exercise taking it out. And I wasn't great. I do my work sitting at a desk. I think and I write, and you don't use up many calories doing that. And so I had to do all the things that I didn't care to do. And I tried them all. I tried gym membership, and I tried, lengthy lengths of a swimming bath, and didn't care for it at all. All of it works, and you just have to find the bit that you find least awful or begins to be enjoyable. Expect it to begin to be enjoyable. And I think it's great that you've started doing some running. That's really, really good. And you just have to get through the kind of pain barrier, and you have to get into, and it does become enjoyable. It becomes interesting to do. And my daughter bought me one of these devices that counts your steps. And it turns out it's somewhere in there quite a competitive person. So I would realise that the recommended amount of steps for a healthy person in a day is to do 10,000 steps. But if you're trying to lose weight, or if you have diabetes, whatever, you should be doing 12,000 steps. Previously, when I worked from home, I had some kind of pedometer, and I counted one day. I came out of my bedroom, down to my office, down for lunch, back to work, back up to my bedroom. I did 148.
Wow.
So that's how many steps I was doing. Yeah. And to move from that to 10,000, you can't do it overnight. You have to do it incrementally. But then it got to the point when the numbers were coming up. I had a good friend who was prepared to walk with me. It's well worth finding a buddy in that way. And the numbers started to creep up, and the numbers of the walking, the steps, and it would get so that I would get to near the next big number and be by my front door, and I thought, I'm not going in now, not till it says 9,000. I'm going round again. And I still do that, so that's a very big help. Different things for different people. My experience was that all of these things work a little bit. Looking at what's on the labels, changing the diet, looking at your plate, so looking at what goes in, and also changing what you do in the way of spending those calories. And it isn't only outside, it's also attending to, old stuff about one's childhood and old, family attitudes to food. I don't know what it was like in your family, but I can remember very well the virtue of a clean plate. Do you remember that?
Oh, absolutely.
And if you don't eat it, there'll be the poor starving children in China who need to have it. And some kind of spurious virtue that's ascribed for having a clean plate. And I watch my granddaughter now when she began on solid food, and it's as though we already know how much we need to eat. And so when she'd finished, she would push her plate away. And if you try and you think, oh, there's just 2 little more spoonfuls there, and you'd start doing, oh, 1 for mummy, 1 for grandma, here comes a train, chuff, 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 just eat the last thing. And she would be so mad with you trying to give her food after she'd had the amount that she wanted, that she would tip her plate over the edge. So we soon learned that, she knew exactly how. And that's all that's happened, is that we've forgotten what our bodies really need. And it's just about re-educating yourself in a gentle, kind and, self-loving way. Saying, you deserve to be fit. You deserve to be well. You deserve to be gorgeous. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you very much. Yeah. How long has it been since you started trying to get your numbers down?
18 months.
Is it only 18 months? I was putting it out at about 2.5 years.
Not as much as that. Maybe it could be 2 years.
Yes.
18 months, 2 years.
Yes. But it was a tough struggle at the beginning, and then all of a sudden you kind of hurtling along.
Well, I think there is that, and I think that's a very good point. That there's nothing that succeeds like success. So you you seem to be struggling for a bit, and nothing really shifts and moves, and then you get that. And that's another, I think, really good thing to do is to track it. I had endless little charts with, marked in quarters of a stone or quarters of an ounce, so in order to plot any kind of incremental loss.
Yes.
But I know somebody who is something of an expert in helping people to get their food straight, and she doesn't believe in weighing at all. She says weigh yourself every 2 months, every month. Pick a day of the month, like 1st of the month or 7th of the month, whatever, and weigh yourself only once a month then. Because it's another way of conning yourself, You weigh yourself, and then you have a bun or a donut or something, and you weigh yourself the next day, and the weight seems to be the same. So you think, well, that's all right. Obviously, 1 bun's no harm at all. So the next day you have 2 buns, and then you find you've put on half a stone. So it's weighing yourself will not actually. The act of weighing does not change your weight or eating habits in the slightest. It's a kind of a feedback. It's a way of monitoring, and better to spend your energy doing things that actually will make a difference. And having a buddy is a really useful thing as well.
Yes, I think so.
You do exercise with friends, you do cycling and
with Angela now, because like that, she just said, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, and she's got a bike, I've got a bike, so we just do this circuit, and it's a good 45 to 50 minutes, and we're on terrain which is up and down, so you're changing gears, and you're cycling harder each day. I find that it takes me less time to get up to Angela's, and that I'm not in an easy gear. I'm in the, a slightly harder gear, so it means I'm working harder,
So can't work my gears either.
But I mean, you've got to be careful because of your operation.
But I did go back swimming. Did aquarobics last week. Probably go again
That's
tomorrow.
lovely. That's really nice. Yes, that was one of the things I really
But I
liked.
don't feel as if I've lost any weight at all.
Don't worry about it. Keep plugging away. The great thing about aquarobics as an exercise is, of course, you get the benefit of the resistance, of the water resistance, and you don't get the impact, the hard impact of actually trying to work out in the gym. And I wouldn't go back there because it just used to depress me.
The gym?
Yes. But aquarobics is really kind of...
And it's fun as well.
It's fun.
Yes.
It's good fun.
Were there many last week?
Yeah, there was no week.
Good. Oh, that's good.
Good fun.
And just deciding on what bits you like and doing some of that, a little of that all the time. And then when I think about it, so many little tips I've been given that have been helpful. Because if you look at, for instance, the walking, how much you're supposed to walk, and I look and I think, that is out of my league. I'm never going to do that much. And just deciding that you cut it down into little bits. There's no greater virtue about having to go out all day and do it. You can do, say, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes of exercise, and doing it first of all 5 minutes, and then I need to rest, and then another 5 minutes, and then I need to rest. And it's okay. I'm going to walk between this lamppost and this lamppost, and then I'm going to stop, walk slowly, and then I'm going to run from this one to this one, and then walk from the next, and just cutting it down into manageable bits. Because it does extend, and it's amazing. You amaze yourself. That's the nice thing, is amazing yourself. Thank you very much.
It's also great to have a buddy. Like when Simon and Dee are here, there's great flourish at creating the pot of salad, cauldron of salad.
A wheelbarrow of salad.
That's it, yes.
Yes, certainly if you can share the experience of...
Does Alex want to lose weight? Would she join you?
I don't know. She keeps buying stashes of crisps and chocolate and things. It's very hard. It's my daughter.
Mm. That would be good. You know, if you can create an alliance with your daughter.
Yeah.
I've been very fortunate because mine's been very supportive in quite a no nonsense way. She sent me this cartoon, which is a GP consulting with some patient in his office, and the GP is saying to the patient, "It's not that diabetes and obesity run in your family; it's that no one runs in your family."
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Very good.
And she does run. And I wouldn't run, but not been a thing of mine, but enough walking will do it. So enough little bits of exercise will actually do it.
It's very easy for me to eat well while you're here. And when the family come back, like, you know, they will eventually, the picture of the plate is going to be what I hold most in my mind.
I'm going to print that out for you this afternoon. Okay?
Because then, you know, I'm sharing a meal with my family, but I'm doing what I need to do, which is to eat it in the right proportions.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like lots of these vegetables.
And
There's
I think
so
that's
many at the
that's a
moment.
mistake that sometimes we can make, is to try and impose what of our own enthusiasm or diet at the time is on others.
No.
I tell you, they get jolly impressed when you've achieved something and got your own goals.
Yes.
I find it very. I mean, I used to be able to lose weight, but I find it very hard now to lose any weight. I mean, I've always walked because I have dogs that I walk every day. And I did, I think up to about 3 years ago, I was size 14.
Yes.
And then since my book died, it was only because I lost the habit of eating well, because my stepmother was very ill with cancer, and then spent a lot of time with her and not eating properly because I couldn't cook or I couldn't organise the food. And then everything, all the bad habits crept back in again. So that was what, 2.5, nearly 3 years ago.
3 years, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's just getting worse and worse.
It
Very hard.
quite often happens when someone's, you know, caring for other people. We put ourselves, you know, next on the list, lower on the list, and out of that we put eating and feeding ourselves even lower on the list than that. And so it's as though we give ourselves the least, quickest, whatever fix it is to get enough energy to do your job, which is supporting someone else. And if you thought of it the other way round and thought, do you know, if I were fit, if I had energy, if I were well, and I'd have more to give them. I would be able to, you know, do all the stuff that I need to do, but from a place of proper energy. And it's really been about, as I say, that inside work, and you know, about inside, just getting your head straight, getting your intention there.
That's a good one, getting your intention there. It's so important.
And I have bad news for you, and bad news for myself. Well, it felt like bad news, but it isn't really. It's just another declaration of how it is. And that none of this is a quick fix. None of this is you do it and you finish with it.
Yeah, it's lifelong changes.
Day at a time, it's for every day.
Yes.
It's making changes that you just stick to, that become part of how you are and what you do.
Did you find writing your food diary helped you to understand why there were times when you wanted to eat, or did you find
what it indicated was where the times were, you know, so saying, okay, well, this is the time when I will quite often I didn't plan. Planning's really big, and I'm, you know, pretty rubbish at planning, and in that way. And so what happens is that I'd find myself, I'm working, I'm teaching in NHS place somewhere miles away, and how will I do that? I won't have time. I can't have my lunch at 11:30, but I need to leave then. And so the compromise will be, I'll buy a sandwich on the way and eat it on the train. I mean, that was kind of seemed like a sensible idea at the time. but actually having to think about the night before and think about what I was doing the next day and what I was going to eat, and therefore doing something about it. And giving yourself the time, saying not having the time, but actually making yourself have the time. The big secret has been juicing. We were talking about the best of food from the freshest of food, but to squash the life out of it and just drink that as a first hit in the morning. Instant reward in that you get that energy straight away. You find that, Sandy, don't you?
Pint of juice.
What sort of things do you juice?
I juice vegetables. I juice green vegetables, so celery, cucumber, sweet snaps, fennel,
Coriander.
cow, coriander. Yes.
Anything green. You can juice pretty much anything. So you can do broccoli, you can do kale, you can do cabbage, but you really want to. If you keep it green, then you're not taking in anything you shouldn't be.
There's loads of sugars in all of that.
There's plenty.
They're
Natural sugars. I, from my condition, had to avoid the things that because when you're juicing, you're concentrating what's there. So something like carrot, it's very sweet. So you just an apple and things. They're lovely juices, and I do occasionally have them. But for your main daily hit.
Do you think that there are big personality issues about eating?
Sure thing.
Comfort stuff.
Sure thing.
And having had a bad day.
All of it. Having had a bad life. I mean. Yes, I think that's absolutely true, and it can either be a continuous thing through life experience, or it can be around a particular patch when you feel sad about something. There was a time, and it was very strange for me because I'd been thin all my life.
Absolutely.
I was thin till I was 43. I can tell you at that exact point. And even through 2 pregnancies, I just had a neat little lump and then became exactly thin again afterwards. And then a number of things happened at the same time, and they had an emotional kickback, and it was to do with losing a job, which for myself and for many people is about their identity and who they are. My marriage finished, my children grew up and left home, so there was kind of like work and marriage and family and everything sort of all seemed to happen at the same time. And certain people that I cared for went out of my life, and there was a huge sense of loss, and it compensated, my body compensated by going, you've had such a hard time, you've lost all these things, I'm going to help you. Every single thing that you eat, we're going to keep it for you. Every bun you have, we're going to whack it onto your bottom and leave it there. We're going to put all those donuts onto your thighs, and we're going to look after them for you. So you will be wrapped up and kept wrapped in crisps and bread and butter and mashed potato and chips. And we'll look after you. Don't you worry, you won't lose another ounce as far as we're concerned. It was like a conspiracy of comfort. And a requirement was to understand that process and not to fight against this sort of inner self and this inner protection, and say, look what you've done to me with all of your neediness, but actually do a process of thanking and saying, thank you very much, that was very kind of you to keep me so nice and roly-poly over this tragic time. Well, I'm doing okay now, and it's okay, we can let a few buns go now. And so it's a case of some honest introspection, and there are processes by which one can do this. Processes of sometimes journaling, a sort of self-conversation, but to explore these. For some people, they go to find help in counselling. I didn't do that. but I know some people who found that helpful. The answers, in my experience, are inside, and you just have to have a mechanism for asking yourself the right questions, and you always have the right answers. And it is a spiritual sickness, obesity, eating too much.
Yeah.
It's an addiction, like any other substance addiction. Whether that's
So you can't abstain. Because
well,
have to
you can't abstain. It's interesting that you can't abstain completely, but you can, through this process of analysis of what's your own trigger points, you can abstain from your own trigger foods. And so the concept of abstinence becomes one that is related to your own trigger foods, and you just say, well, that I don't have. And for some people that's processed flour, some people it's sugar. Almond magnums. Yes, I had a long and unrequited affair with almond magnums. Very long.
Well, they are rather nice.
They are lovely, aren't they? I'm going to join in the conversation. There's another lady. Just the door. Push the door.
They were outside.
Yeah, the back door's open. That's another lady who has a problem with her waist over there.
Yes. No, she just can't. It's not a problem. She just rolls over and can't get enough people to scratch her stomach for her.
No, I locked it. Oh. They want to be on the picture. Look at that.
They want to be the cocoa.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, Sandy.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. We've got lots to think about, and there's lots there for you to use. Can I make you a juice? Can I make you a juice? Would you like to try a green juice, or would you prefer to have a smoothie juice?
Which do you fancy?
I don't know.
We
See,
have
I'm
it.
not a big fan of vegetables. As a child,
All right.
none passed my lips. No, I am better now.
Yes.
You just have to change the relationship. You say,
Yeah.
there is life,
That's right.
there is energy, strength,
Would you prefer a smoothie?
What's in a smoothie?
fruit.
Fruit. You see, I am
And
more liking fruit.
okay,
Probably because the sugar's in it.
well that's okay. The taste's nice, and it needn't be a milk smoothie made of cow's milk. It can be made of like a nut milk or soy milk or something like that. Would you like one?
Well, yeah.
That'd be lovely. Great.
Sounds
idea.
like a.
I'm sucking this because I felt a tickle come on.
That's okay.
When
Yeah.
Emma coughs, it really hurts.
I can imagine. You keep that.
Mm.
And then I was thinking, I looked at the box and it has a lot of sugar in it.
You know, when I'm coughing,
have
I
to
just
tell
go
you
enough
now-
a bar of chocolate.
When I have to tell you that what I've told you now means your life will never be the same again. You will always be looking at little boxes. And
I
I'm going to bring a
know.
magnifying glass in because I can't actually read this with my glasses on.
Look at that. That's got the traffic lights there, aren't they? But they're not.
They're all...
They're all the same colour.
well, then if that's let's have a look.
Yeah, have a look. Why are they all beigey coloured?
I think they just use that as a design, don't they?
No, that may be so.
All right.
No, I'd say that was.
I like the idea
That's
of
okay.
planning because you know from your diary when a week time is, which for me is about 5:30, 6 o'clock. So if you've got some croutons or something, not croutons, but they're called crudités in the fridge, chopped up.
Or a
carrot.
place. If you're always in the kitchen at that time and that's when the fridge door comes open, it's just saying, I'm going to have a fruit platter and I'm going to take it in the dining room or I'm going to take it in the sitting room.
Yes, yes.
Moving to that other
There's
place.
definitely habits that I have which I
Sure
have to
thing.
kick.
You know, that you do a walk for a certain time.
I feel I'm getting on top of the exercise again.
That's
Being
great.
fit. I did the mile
great.
swim earlier on this year. You know,
That was fantastic.
yeah, that was just
And
lovely.
how did you do that except build up
Yes,
the lengths
that's
until you
right.
came to the doing the whole mile? And so it's that's how you do any of it, don't you?
yes, yes.
You know, it's, they say, how do you eat an elephant?
A bit at a time.
time. Not that as a vegetarian I would be eating an elephant.
No,
I'm just using
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Well, we're all in the same boat. We have to get going.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's going to be a smoothie.
a smoothie it is.
All right.
Davina, can you just do the packets to the camera? All the ones I think you started off with the cereal, and then you did the oatcakes. That's it. Yeah.
The alien shot.
And those two together, the oatcakes. The two of them together.
I'll just go
remember?
past you. I presume he's. Come on, let me put the dogs out. Come on.
Let me go inside.
Oh, no.
That's what I'm saying, there's a front door open.
No, there's nothing open
Go
here.
up a
I'll
bit.
get up to the front.
That's
Come
it.
on, I'll go.
Just hold it there. Crisps you did.
There's a bean.
Tin.
There's a
Tin, I
tin
think.
there. Yeah, by the sounds of it.
Anything else?
No.
That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much. Very good.
Can you
Thank
cut
you,
those in?
Invisible.
Can you? Ooh, can you edit those into?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'll
be
have to-
editing out
I'll have
loads
to
and
cut them
loads.
in.